Bitcoin, the largest driver of Bitcoin in the cycle. So if you think about that technology, that gives it this exponential uptrend. So if you put a logarithmic chart, it's actually pretty smooth. What are the cycles driven by? It's driven by liquidity. The biggest driver of Bitcoin is global liquidity, not just the Fed liquidity. So if you use the global bank balance sheets year on year, what you find is that's the thing. So China's already starting to print. The UK is starting to change. I think Europe will be pretty soon. So I think that all we need is a turn. The rate of change needs to turn and crypto turns, which is why, ETH bottomed in June. It's been looking forwards, saying the cycle's turning. And it takes a while to play out. So people would call this crypto spring. Spring is a time where, it rains a lot, it's cloudy a bit, sunny a bit, it's cold, it's warm. And that's exactly what the crypto market's like right now. It's just messy. But it's not really going down either. So it doesn't get colder every day. That's winter. So I think we're in crypto spring. And as liquidity changes, and I think that happens relatively soon because things are getting pretty ugly out there. The first part is the adoption of technology is relentless. It does not stop. It's not driven by the capital markets. The capital markets mean more entrepreneurs take a shot. Nobody gives a shit if the hurdle rate's 6%. Look at the hurdle rate in India. Look where Indian interest rates are. Where are they today? 7.5%. So 7.5% rates. And how many entrepreneurs have you got? The entrepreneurs in India are going exponential. So it's a nonsense narrative that raising interest rates means that nobody does technology. Go back to the 70s. There was plenty of technology companies like Xerox that took over that period of time. So I don't believe that. I think the adoption of technology is exponential. Again, if people want to understand what I'm talking about, look at India. Look at what happened after Aadhaar, India Stack, UPI, and then the Cambrian explosion that happened there. It's astonishing. So let's go to crypto. Crypto right now is the fastest adoption of any technology the world has ever seen. It's twice the adoption speed of the internet.
Sorry, do you mean by number of holders?
Increase in number of holders per year is faster than users of the internet in terms of growth from the first 5 million users. That's where I took it from. So crypto's still growing. This year will be a much flatter year, but it was growing at an average at about 160% a year, and the internet was growing about 80% a year. It's twice the speed. So we have never seen a technological adoption as fast as this. And so does interest rates stop that? No. Change in interest rates is the thing that stops it. That liquidity, remember, it's year-on-year rate of change. If they just stopped interest rates, if the US stopped interest rates here, over a while, the rate of change goes flat. Assets can do fine in that because remember, it's technology adoption that actually drives the price over the longer run. So it's the rate of change that's causing it. If the rate of change goes to zero and it flattens out, i.e. interest rates stay sticky, then the chances are that we just get the trend rate of adoption of the technology over time, which still gives it 100% a year rise. But I want to make two big bets. Going back to this story of how young Indians should think about finance, I just took the same thing. Is what is the secular trend here? One is all the institutional investors, all the rich families, everybody's going to come into crypto. Right now, it's too difficult for them to do. They don't want to go and, figure out wallets or custody and all of that. And it's becoming more complicated. It's not just a Bitcoin world anymore. It's a complicated technology world. And we're all feeling a bit dumber every day as this space gets smarter and smarter. So I thought, how do I solve this? And I thought, what we'll do is we'll create an asset management company that invests in the world's best digital asset hedge funds. So let the hedge funds focus on what they do, which is finding the best opportunities in the space. We'll build a broad basket. So now big investors can come in. And that's the start of the asset management business. So that's one bet. Everybody in finance is going to invest in this space. What's the other bet? The other bet is, everybody's going to be using blockchain technology. It's going to change the world. And it's going to be a consumer application of massive scale. Because if I extrapolate the trend rate of growth, we get to about 4 billion people in the next 5 years. So this is going to be another Cambrian explosion. So what are those use cases? So I had a thesis that culture is becoming the new asset class. So this is culture and community. And where those are strongest are music, sports, film, TV, book franchises, and fashion. Now, there's probably religion and politics. We'll leave those two out. But those four apply to somebody in India, somebody in South Korea, somebody in Brazil, somebody in the United States. And they are at a gigantic scale. So I think they're going to be tokenized using both a combination of NFTs and social tokens. And if I think the next billion people come into that and the next $1 trillion comes into the finance bucket to fund all of this, well, I want to capture both of those. So this is the biggest bet I've ever seen. It's the most intellectually rewarding thing I've ever done. It's a whole load of fun. So I'm now working stupidly 14 hours a day, like 7 days a week, but I've got a grin on my face and endless energy from doing it because these times are magic. They happen once or twice in your entire life when opportunity is everywhere. It's not easy. It never is easy. Opportunity is everywhere. You've seen it and you go for it. It's inevitable because we as humans want it. We as humans understand some of the fragilities of the system. You know, humans' two strongest emotions are fear and greed. Crypto works for both of them. Fear is, I want to keep my money. I don't want it taken away and I don't want it debased and I don't trust you. And greed is, hey, this is a perfect behavioral economics incentive system where if we all participate in the network, the value of the network goes up. So this is a very powerful force. Imagine if Facebook, when it started, so Facebook works by giving you a bunch of free tools, monetizes your attention span, and the shareholders get rich and you kind of get abused, but you get the free tools. So it's a trade-off. Imagine if Facebook had given every single user free shares. You would have told everybody about it and would be passionate about it. That's all crypto is.